Wildlife Reserve. Now before we embark on this long journey, I do have a few safety reminders for everyone. Please make sure we stay seated at all times. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle. Now if you brought any small items with you, such as cameras, hats, cell phones, make sure you hold on to those valuables tightly. The Harambe Wildlife Reserve does not allow me to stop to retrieve these lost items at any time. Now if you look above your head, you'll find an animal spotting guide. It'll help you identify some of the animals we might see on the reserve today. Now we won't be seeing all of them, but I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing a handful of them. I won't be able to stop for all the animals that we see, but if I do stop, it'll only be for about 5 to 10 seconds at a time. So just make sure you always have those cameras ready. It is a photo safari after all. Now also, if you brought any little ones with you and they're sitting on your lap, just make sure they stay seated on your lap the entire time. Please don't lift them up like baby Simba at Pride Rock, because that just sounds like a really bad idea anyway. Well, looks like we got the warnings all clear, so how we see here in Harambe, one day, that means let's go. Well, our adventure begins here in the Little Forest. The keyword here is forest. The animals do tend to blend in fairly well with the natural backgrounds. Just like this okapi here on our right hand side. Now the okapi is commonly confused with the zebra because of its stripes, but it's actually related to the giraffe. They have the same skull structure, it's just a little bit smaller. Now the okapi also have really long tongues, long enough to lick their own eyeballs. Now if you look to your left hand side, you'll see a watering hole, and watering holes are important gathering places for animals like the black rhino. But unfortunately there's less than 5,000 black rhinos left in the entire world. They are an endangered species at this point, but I'll get a little more into those details about them later. Well, looks like we weren't lucky enough to see a black rhino. I guess if I was 1 out of 5,000, I wouldn't be out either. Now the animals here in the Little Forest are definitely a little bit sneaky unless they're being fed. It looks like there's going to be a bongo crossing the road up ahead here on our right hand side. Now the bongos are also known as the ghosts of the forest, since they usually do like to hang out way in the back, just like this one here on our left hand side. Now if you notice, the bongo's horns are slanted backward, and that's so they can move quickly and efficiently through the brush of the forest. But speaking of forest, let's get out of this one. It looks like we'll be making our way into the Safi River. Now the Safi is the home of the hippos and the crocodiles. And despite the big size of the hippos, sometimes they are a little bit hard to see, since they usually do like to hang out in the water, even walk on the bottom surface of the river, since they can hold their breath for 5 to 8 minutes at a time. Birds on the island, those are pink-backed pelicans, but they only turn pink during mating season, and when it is mating season, their eggs hatch in about 30 days. It looks like on our left-hand side, we'll be seeing some Nile crocodiles. Now they do have a jaw-crushing power that exerts at about 2,000 pounds per square inch, crushing the bones of their prey. Now the males can weigh up to 500 pounds, and the females, well, the females don't talk about how much they weigh, but they can reach a length of about 20 feet and run up to 10 miles an hour on land. Now that's still way faster than my truck can go, so we're going to pretend to speed off. Well, slowly but surely we'll be making our way out of the Safi River, and we'll be heading into a completely different ecosystem with completely different animals. But speaking of different, is going to be this tree coming up on our right hand side. Now you'll notice how it kind of looks upside down and like the roots are on the top. Well, it's the baobab tree. Now the baobab above tree can withstand long periods of drought by storing water in its trunk and going leafless for 9 months out of the year. Now this is the most beautiful view of the whole savannah. The Serengeti grasslands can stretch for hundreds of miles, being the super highway to some of our favorite animals like giraffes, elephants, antelopes, and many more. Now this is the Africa we're trying so desperately to conserve. Right-hand side are some of the Ankole cattle. Now the Ankole cattle are the most domesticated animals here on the reserve, since they have lived side by side amongst all these other animals their whole lives. Now their horns can grow to be about 6 feet in length and 20 inches at the base. They look really heavy, but they're actually honeycomb shaped inside. It looks like right behind the Ankole cattle are going to be some of the white-bearded wildebeest. Now the white-bearded wildebeest do get their name from the word beast in Afrikaans, and they happen to have one of the largest migrations in Africa, since they're always in search of new grass. Now you know how cows say moo? Well, they say new. Now all these big orange things everywhere. Does anyone want to take a guess at what they are? Yeah, termite mounds. They're made out of feces, saliva, and dirt. They're pretty disgusting, but the elephants really like to use them as scratching posts since they are as hard as concrete. Now once they're trimmed down enough, the antelope will stand on them to gaze over the savannah, sometimes even look out for their predators. Here is created by the animals who inhabit it. The elephants act as the bulldozers, knocking down the trees. The giraffes like to eat the leaves off the trees to let sunlight in through to the grass. The antelope act as the lawnmowers, and the nibblers like the warthogs, while they keep the grass nice and tidy. Now in a natural balance system, everyone has food to eat. Looks like there's some giraffes up ahead causing a giraffe jam. Now there's actually going to be two different kinds of giraffes here on the reserve. We'll see the reticulated one that has more of a net-like pattern, getting its name from the word net in Latin, which is reticulata, translate to English, reticulated. Then we'll see the other ones, those are the Maasai. Now the Maasai have more of a puzzle piece pattern, and they have a way darker coat. Now giraffes sure do love to eat. They eat for about 22 hours a day, sleep for 30 minutes, and just look completely clueless for the remainder of the time. Now when a giraffe is born, it's born at 6 feet in length and can grow to be about 18 to 20 feet tall. Then they also grow up to have really big hearts. Literally, their heart weighs about 25 pounds. Now if you're wondering how they reach the leaves all the way at the top of the trees, besides their obvious really long bodies, they also have really long tongues. Their tongues are about 18 inches long. So up top, Now, the Harambe Wildlife Reserve was established in 1971 to help protect the animals we see here today. Now, over the years, the animals have become less and less afraid of the humans, allowing us to do safaris like these. What's this? Why is it going so slow? It looks like we'll be making our way into Monkey Point and Elephant Country. We're to keep an eye out for the mangrove monkeys. They are really silly. Sometimes they're everywhere or nowhere at all. They usually like to hang out on our left-hand side. It looks like there's going to be one right in between those two logs up ahead on Monkey Point. Now, the mandrills are the largest monkeys in Africa. The males can weigh up to 100 pounds and the females up to 30. And they typically like to live in troops, so they're definitely a troop of monkeys that would not want to. If you look to your right-hand side, you'll see the African elephant. Now, elephants do have very sensitive skin. They're always trying to stay hydrated, whether it's by throwing water or dirt on themselves. The dirt does act as a source of sunscreen for them. Or hey, sometimes playing with your food is fun. So it looks like the road we're supposed to take is closed. That would explain all the traffic. We're just going to follow that truck right in front of us, so hopefully they know where they're going. Hopefully it's Elephant Country. Now, in hopes that we are on our way to Elephant Country, if we do see any elephants with the voice box around their neck, scientists here on the reserve are conducting studies to see how they interact with one another, since we can't actually hear them and it's more of a low mumbling noise. They're doing that so they could be better protected and so we can see them for many more years to come, since they are being poached for their tusks, which are made out of ivory. Shouldn't have followed that truck. This bridge doesn't look so good, but I don't think we have much of a choice. So everybody cross your fingers and hopefully make it across. And just don't look down. Whoa, hold on everybody. Lean to the right. Save the driver. Save me first. I mean, I'll save you. That's what I meant. Oh goodness, I had no idea. Well, let's get out of here. Well, hopefully all of you are still back there. I don't like to go back for anyone. It gets really awkward. Looks like we can continue with the rest of our safari. Now on the right and left hand side, you'll see these red clay pits. That's where the elephants come and polish their tusks. You can see all the tusk marks on the ground and on the walls. Also some footprints on the right and left hand sides. Now the elephants also do enjoy eating this clay as a source of minerals for their diet. Now the gestation period for a female elephant is 22 months. Now once the baby is born, it'll live with its mother until it reaches the age of 13. Then it'll go on and live its own life and maybe even live to be about 70 years old. Now in the lifespan of a female elephant, she will give birth at least 15 times, spending 30 years of her life pregnant. Now notice all the baobab trees everywhere. Elephants love to live near these trees so they can drink all the water that's stored inside their trunks. photo opportunity to get the baobab tree and the elephant in the background. Now, believe it or not, an elephant's trunk does have about 100,000 different muscles in it, and they can store up to 5 gallons of water in there. Now, on the left-hand side is a flamboyance of the greater flamingos. Now, flamingos are actually born gray and later in life turn pink. Does anyone know why? Yeah, it's from all the shrimp they eat. Provides them with all the beta-carotene they need for their bodies. Now, these flamingos are the lightest shade of pink, and they can be found in groups from 5 up to 20,000 others. Now, imagine having 20,000 friends. That sounds like a lot of drama to me. Looks like there's going to be a crash of rhinos up ahead. Hopefully we can catch up to them before they go away. Now, like I said before, they are an endangered species at this point, and that's because they're being poached for their horns, which are made out of keratin. And this keratin is found in our fingernails and hair. Poachers are selling these horns on the black market to make lots of money. The way we can help the rhinos is by donating to conservation funds so they can be better protected, along with the African elephant. Well, there's one. The other one ran away. Now, the white rhino does weigh about 2,000 pounds more than the black rhino, tipping the scales at 5,000 pounds. Now, on our left-hand side, if you look way out there by that rock, you'll see a couple of the cheetahs.
I don't see it.
One's right before the rock, and then the one's right beneath the tree. Now, cheetahs can run really fast. They can run up to 60 miles an hour, but for only a couple of seconds at a time before they get really overheated and have to stop. Now, unlike the lions, the cheetahs do all their hunting in the daytime by a sense of sight. Now, there's going to be like 2 more here on our left-hand side, but looks like they're being camera shy and hiding away in the back. Now, a group of cheetahs is called a coalition, but since those two do happen to be sisters, I guess we can call them the Cheetah Girls. Now, this rock formation that we're approaching is called a kopie, and the kopie is the home of the lions. The lions do remain dormant for about 18 to 20 hours a day, so we're just going to keep an eye out for them. They might be lying around somewhere. Well, not with the lions so far, but I do see an ostrich and some zebras up ahead on our right-hand side. Now, the ostrich is the biggest bird and one of the birds that does not fly. Can't fly because it weighs too much. It weighs about 300 pounds, but it could pretty much outrun any of its predators, going at 40 miles an hour. Now, there's the zebras and the bontebok again, maybe even a couple more rhinos. Now, zebras are pretty powerful animals. They can take out the jaw of a lion with just one kick. When zebras are born, they know how to walk, and a couple hours after that, they know how to run, just in case if they ever have to get away from any of their predators right away. Now, back to our lion search. Now, it looks like the lioness is here, and so is the lion. Oh, they're both sleeping. I think they're cuddling.
There we go.
Now, the lioness is the one who does all the hunting. She hunts at night by a sense of smell, while the lion stays home to protect the family. Now, a group of lions is called a pride, and if a lion were to roar, you can hear it for 6 miles out. But it is a lot more quieter on the savannah. If you look to your left-hand side, it's one of my personal favorite animals, and that is the warthog. Now, the warthog can run as fast as a white rhino, a whole 35 miles an hour, which is pretty incredible considering they are 2 completely different sizes. And I think it's so silly she always has her dinner like on 2 knees. Now, if you look to your left-hand side on the ground, these eggs weigh about 3 pounds each, take 42 days to hatch, and they belong to the ostrich that we saw back there. Now, those small antelope on our right-hand side, those are the bontebok. Now, the bontebok were almost completely extinct in the wild, but now they do thrive on reserves like these. back, and we'll be heading into the Magadi Glen. Now the Glen is the home of the addax and the yellow-billed storks. It looks like the addax have gone to lunch. Not only the yellow-billed storks are here. Now here on the left-hand side, they look fairly innocent, but they're not. They like to eat other small birds. But along with their bird diet, they also do enjoy fish, frogs, and even snakes. And sometimes if they're really hungry, they'll eat their own children. I'm really hungry. Well, unfortunately, our safari has now come to an end. I'll be taking you back near the Warden's Post, and Harambe is only a couple miles from there. Now, if you do want to see some more animals, make sure you head over to the Pangani Forest. It's an exploration trail. There you'll be able to see some silverback gorillas, meerkats, and maybe even the hippos. It'll be located at the exit of Kilimanjaro Safari, so you're just going to go straight up the hill and it'll be on the right-hand side. Also, if you haven't seen the Festival of Lion King, I do highly recommend you watch that show. It's on the hour, every hour, at the Harambe Theater. Now, I do want to leave you with a short conservation message. We can all help these animals here on the reserve and around the world by doing something as simple as recycling. So recycle your cans, electronics, paper, whatever we can do will help. I want to see these animals for many more years to come, and I hope you do as well. Now please make sure to look around you that no items of yours have fallen out of your pockets or your bags, and please make sure to take everything with you, including your loved ones and children. Now once again, my name was Josie, and it was a pleasure having you aboard the Symbol 1. Now here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye to our new friends because it's far too sad, far too final, and far too sensitive. So we say Kwaherini, which means to go well. So Kwaherini, everybody. Asante Sana, that means thank you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom.